time, but
I get it.
someday. Okay, being 7 p.m. Thank you. April 14th, 2026. Note this meeting is being televised, streamed, or recorded by Bourne TV. If anyone in the audience is recording or videotaping, please acknowledge such at this time. I do see Helen from Bourne Enterprise. Bourne
Yes,
TV
hello,
is
I
here.
am recording.
Thank you so much. If anyone from the public wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by calling the following conference line, 1-929-205-6099. Zoom meeting ID 897-1229-3538. Password all caps born. The Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon and the chair will ask them to unmute. All items within the agenda are subject to deliberation and votes. Call this meeting into open session. We have public comments on non-agenda items. Public comments are allowed for up to a total of 12 minutes at the beginning of each meeting. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes for comment. Board members are unable to respond due to the posting requirement of the open meeting law. Is there anyone here for public comment this evening? Okay, hearing none. Next on our list is Bourne Affordable Housing Trust, a request for extension on deadline for decision related to 173 Main Street, the former police station. And I'm assuming Sue is speaking on this.
Yes, I will. So good evening and thank you for letting us come. I know that our deadline is up soon. Unfortunately, in my head, I don't remember exactly when it is, but we are starting on a new thing which will take some more time. So we wanted to extend the deadline. And I think in your packet, I hope in your packet, you got a copy of our letter, which also included some plans from our architect. So what's happened is we've been trying to get some funding to help us do the planning. And we were able, luckily the town of Bourne joined the regional housing services for the Barnstable County. And they give a certain amount of time. And our town planner has been great about sharing some of that time with us. Our Affordable Housing Trust and Partnership has voted to contribute more money. And what they will do is they will help us plan. They will find out what the best usage is for the land. They'll help us plan for it. We will come in front of you again, of course, throughout this process. And if it's decided that whatever the plan is to go forward, they will help us do RFPs and help the town get more funding and funding to help us so it isn't all on the town. Is one of our big points that we've been working on. We also, I think I mentioned it before, have had people come to us that they would like not just housing on this property. They're looking for it because it's in their downtown area and they want to use it. They would like some kind of retail, almost like a Gray Gables market type area in it. So we're trying to work with all these different entities to be able to do what the Village of Buzzards Bay would like and to do some affordable housing. We would also like to do, I think we can do it this way. We would like the affordable housing to be workforce housing if possible for town employees. We've been hearing a lot lately that it's been hard to get employees because they can't find a decent rental or a place to live. And so we would like to, try to base some of our affordable housing on workforce housing in this area. So in order to do this, though, with the regional housing services, they insist, well, I mean, I don't know, insist is probably a good word. They really want us to have a total site visit and program assessment of the building and the land. So they will go forward with the help and to help us get even more funding, but we have to do this part to begin with. So the first thing we did is go to have this done by Leonardo Array, who we've used for most of our projects. And then we also, like I said before, have voted to put more money into the county regional housing services so that we can get more planning done from them. But we need more time to do all this. And we didn't really want to start it without getting a deadline approved by you, because we don't want to put money into something that we won't have. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, so I see some hands, so I will start with MJ. Your hand was up first. Chair,
Just wondering,
yeah.
Sue, how much time do you think you need?
Well, I mean, I don't mind coming back. So one of the things is in the proposal by Leonardi, when he finishes his assessment, which will probably be in a matter of, I think, a month, 6 weeks, he will give us a meeting, and we would like to do a joint meeting with the select board so that you know where everything is at that point. And then we would want, more than that, obviously, time to try and get the plan once we have this assessment done, to try and see what the shared regional housing program is saying to us before we apply for more funding. So I would say we would need till the end of the summer anyway, maybe into the fall.
Do you think another 6 months? I mean, if we gave you
Yeah.
another 6-month extension?
I think another 6 months, but I think we will come in front of you more, at least a couple of times in that 6 months, so that now that we have something going on, and we also have more time. We have a project assistant that has worked for us for a long time, but it was sort of very part-time because she had another job, but she retired, luckily. And she is going to, and she worked in housing, so she's going to at the same time be concentrating on finding a funding for this. And most of the problem with the funding was they want the plans before they want to do the funding. So we have to put money in ourselves. And so that's what we're doing.
I'm totally supportive of this. I think you're going in the right direction. I know the property is not an easy decision, so I'm totally supportive of a 6-month extension if that will work for you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, MJ. Peter, you're up next.
Yes, I know this committee is putting their heart and soul into this, and they're doing their due diligence as me as one of their members. So it's not something that's being done haphazardly. I mean, they really want to make sure this works, and they know it's a privilege to have town-owned land given to us for the purposes of doing this. That if we put this out in the open market, it would be different. The town would be making some money. So this is also the town's way of investing in affordable housing as well, is by um, giving us the first dibs on the property and seeing what our architect and our consultants come back with. And I think the 6-month extension is reasonable because the Affordable Housing Trust / Housing Partnership will be back before the select board various times, giving some updates. So as long as we see progress and not, something that's just sitting there, just collecting dust, as I mean, is I have no problem supporting their initiative. I think it's good that at least they had tonight and they're giving a report, and nothing good's going to happen overnight. So I think if we just do a phased approach and just take our time, I think it will work out for everybody in the end.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Anyone else on the select board have any comments, questions related? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the 6-month extension for 173 Main Street?
So move.
Well, MJ, your hand is up.
I'll
Okay,
second.
all right. All right, so we have a motion from Peter and a second from MJ Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I will do roll call vote. MJ,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Anne Marie,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
chair votes yes. 500. Okay, thank you, Sue. Good luck thanks for coming back and
Thank you, and hopefully we'll be in front of you soon.
thank
Again.
you very much for your work here. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving on. So next we have an agenda item, discussion. It's excise tax apportionment in 02532 zip code. I'm giving this, am I sending this to you, Marlene? Who's taking this for us?
Rui can talk
Oh,
about
Rui.
the work that his office does.
Okay, sorry, Rui. Perfect. Go ahead, Rui. You have the floor.
So the issue that's happened historically in the past with the excise tax relating to zip code 02532, which is Buzzards Bay, unfortunately, a section of Wareham has to share that zip code. So what happens is a lot of times vehicles that get registered at the RMV, depending on how it's coded, it may be coded as the garaging as Bourne, because when it gets entered in the RMV level, they'll use 02532, which will be garaged in Bourne. However, the mailing address, the bill will be still sent to the Wareham address, but the bill originates out of Bourne due to the garaging of how it's entered at the RMV level. So, prior to us even sending any bills out, we do get a file from the RMV which lists all the zip codes, all the vehicles that are going to be billed. And at that point, usually we kind of already know usually the streets that sometimes get included in our file, and we're able to remove it. And then the way we remove it is through Atlas, which is a program where we can, change the garaging. If we see that bill doesn't belong with us, we can change it to Wareham, and then Wareham will be notified of this potential excise tax bill for them to bill. So the only way this would get corrected is if the post office assigned this portion of Wareham their own zip code, so then the vehicles don't end up in our commitment because of that zip code issue. So, and this has been going on for decades. But like I said, the only way to correct this going forward is if, the post office would just issue that portion of Wareham their own zip code.
Okay. So do we have Marlene, do you have anything to add to that? Anyone else or any questions from the select board? Comments? I know this was something MJ had wanted us to put on the agenda. So MJ, I will see your hand is up. Go ahead.
Thanks, Rui. I kind of remembered like Donna Barakowski talking about this issue. Like it's been going on for a long time. It's not easy to get a zip code change, but administratively, I think it would like really help. Only they could still service the new zip code out of Buzzards Bay, and it might still be a Buzzards Bay zip code, but and I realize that some of these are difficult because I know that for Katomet, it has its own zip code, but if you're talking about a utility, the utility is still coding you as 02532. So it's not easy. And I think my question and bringing this up was more to say that it came up as an issue with Upper Cape Tech, but it's not just an Upper Cape Tech issue. It is an issue with trying to figure it out. And if the assessor's office has systems that they use to try to identify by street address or database what's Bourne and what's Wareham, I think trying to help figure that out in all situations would be great. So I really appreciate the explanation. It's not new. It's been, happening, but I think it's helpful to understand that it does cause, I want to say, additional administrative work in the assessor's office because of the way the database works. So thank you very much. I appreciate your telling us how it all works.
Problem.
Okay. Anyone, any other select board members have any comments or questions for Rui related to the zip code? Anyone in the public? On the call? Okay, thank you, Rui, for coming on. I hope you get your walk in tonight, maybe, or
Right.
tomorrow. And thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Moving on. So next we have the draft information request to Upper Cape Tech regarding the resident enrollment information for FY 2026. There is a document in your packet with the draft letter. So I will divert to the select board if anyone has any questions, thoughts, or if the letter is okay. Do we have a motion to present, to have Marlene sign it with my stamp as presented? Anne Marie, go ahead. I see your hand.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the additional language and questions and information will definitely drive some good data and figure out, what's happening with the assessment, and if in the event that we were charged with those students who were upperclassmen over the course of 2 to 4 years. So I appreciate the additional language in the document.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Marie?
I can't raise my hand because I
That's
lost
okay.
my
Go ahead,
hand
MJ.
thing.
It's okay. Go right ahead.
All right. So I did have some comments. So on the number 3 request, I think it's listed as number 3.
Your resident enrollment list for town of Bourne students as of October 1st, 2024, with both residential physical address and grade level. That one?
Right. I think the word both should be deleted. And instead it should state residential physical address, comma, mailing address, and grade level. Because those are the elements that we need to talk about. It is the residential physical address that is different from the mailing address. And so in the list, we need to have all 3 pieces of information in order to be able to identify where there might be potential issues.
Okay.
In number 4, I would say including the residential physical address, comma, mailing address, and grade level, same information. In number 5, at the end, I would add as applicable. And I don't know if the Upper Cape Tech uses the same format for their budget that Bourne Public Schools do. So they have Bourne Public Schools has an Excel spreadsheet that kind of shows what line items are going to what things. And that really evolved from the year when they had sort of double counted the military mitigation aid and ran into a deficit. I don't know that Upper Cape Tech has ever run into that, so I would just add as applicable in number 5 at the end. And then in number 6, it asks for any forms. I would say any forms or documents, because there are forms that are filled out, but there might be also requesting documents, and I think it would be helpful us to know. And I do know that Upper Cape has, in response to this issue that's occurred this year, they have changed a little bit of what their application process is and the documents they request. So I think any documents they request would also be applicable. In the CC, I would add the Bourne Select Board, so the Bourne Select Board members get a copy of the letter that is sent so that we know. So those are my changes to the letter. The one thing I have to say is that it is not Upper Cape Tech School Committee that makes the assessment. It is DESE that determines the assessment that goes to the town of Bourne. And I just feel that I'm somewhat uncomfortable that we haven't requested a meeting with the Upper Cape Tech School Committee and a superintendent, a joint meeting like we did with the Bourne Public Schools when we were having a budget discussion with them. And we've gone to sort of the letter of the law. This is the requirement if we're like going by the regional agreement, our basis for asking for information. But we haven't been collaborative with Upper Cape Tech in terms of inviting them to come to a meeting to have a discussion about the issue. And I'm somewhat troubled by that. So I don't have a problem with sending the letter, but I think it's a different process that we've used in the past. So those are my comments or edits to the letter and my thoughts about the letter itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne-Marie, go ahead. You're next.
Well, DESE only sets the Chapter 70 funding based on numbers. The UCT Select Board budget, they are the one, the superintendent presents the budget to the school committee for UCT. Though our assessments, it's not just Chapter 70. The school committee votes the budget, which includes Upper Cape's assessment to us. Part of that assessment is obviously the offsets, but they fully assess us. DESE doesn't. It's not the end all. I'm not quite sure I'm following you on that line of thinking, yeah. MJ. Yeah. And this particular, what we're asking isn't about how they manage their finances and budgeting. This is strictly driven by
numbers,
finding an error in the number of students and realization that and trying to get to the root cause of that problem. I think the assessment piece is a whole different thing, right? Just accepting the budget as is without any pushback or without, just saying this is your assessment, period. That's a different topic. This, I think, is strictly driven by the realization that we've had some mistakes and errors were made along the way and how to navigate that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Peter, I see your hand.
Thank you. DESE sets the Chapter 70 funding as well as the foundation funding, so it's not just Chapter 70 by itself. Also, I'm looking at our attendance online tonight. I don't see anybody from Upper Cape Tech, our Bourne reps to the school committee or the superintendent. Were they given notification that this meeting was happening tonight?
You'd have to ask the town administrator's office that question. I think typically the agendas are posted. I mean, we can ask Marlene if you wanted to respond to that, Marlene.
The conversations with the select board, so no invitation was sent. The agenda was posted as per the open meeting law.
I guess professional courtesy goes a long way. I mean, we're trying to, I know this is a stressful situation right now, but at the same time, we want to work together. And the fact that they're not here tonight, yeah, we can say the open meeting law says you only need to post it, but it's just common courtesy and it goes a long way. Um, and I don't have the problem
You
with the letter
clearly,
contents and the fact that we're asking questions. But if we send a formal letter to the Upper Cape Tech School Committee, it's going to be on the next agenda whenever that meeting is. Then they set a subcommittee to evaluate it. Then they bring that information back to the full committee, Upper Cape Tech School Committee, and then they're going to vote to answer it. We're not going to get some of these answers back to summertime. Where if we just send a text of this letter by an email to the superintendent and copy us, we're only looking for answers, and maybe he can get the information in advance. I don't know why it needs to be so formalized. Um, I'm just trying to figure out ways of shortening up shortening up the requirements in the letter. I guess maybe I'm not making sense, but I guess have some problems with the way this whole format's been happening.
well, I mean, Upper Cape was there the night when we talked about the letter and that we were drafting a letter. I mean, it's not like it's new news. And you've clearly been communicating with some people have been clearly communicating with for Cape, so I would imagine they were aware of the meeting, correct? Or you're saying they had no idea there was a meeting tonight about Upper Cape, or I'm not clear on what we're saying here. They were there the night we all voted and put forth a recommendation to write a letter. And we're still drafting the letter, so it's not even final, right? So, I mean, I agree, maybe, there could be some joint meetings set up at a later date, but I mean, I think we're still in draft form. So go ahead, Jean, I see your hand.
Yeah, I think it's a little premature to talk about getting together at this point. As Melissa stated, they were at the last meeting when we were talking about it. And this was really just because we wanted to see a draft before the letter went out together as a select board so we can discuss it. And then when we get the information back, if we have other responses, we can certainly at that point do more if we feel like doing more. But this is something that we wanted to do on our end just to make sure mistakes weren't made again. It's not really a strike against anybody else's school committee or anything. So
Exactly. Thank you, Jean. Anne Marie, I see your hand. Is that still up or did you put it up? Is it the
No,
second
it's up
hand?
again.
Okay. Okay,
Thank
good.
you. Yeah. As I stated before, I think, we have a fiduciary responsibility, and that's the reason why we traveled down this path, right? With the realization that there were errors made. It's not an attack on their school committee or any, type of financial misunderstanding or whatsoever, or, we just want to get to some answers that our taxpayers deserve to know, and after this discovery. And that's that. I think sending a letter actually expedites the process more so. And trying to find a date to meet and ask these same questions, um, I think it'll expedite the process itself and allow, their school committee opportunity to gather the information, direct the superintendent. And I don't think there's an expectation that we are going to get the answers, in any specific time period, but that, to let the public know that we want to pursue answers to the many questions we have for the taxpayers. So, like I said before, I think the whole, next year's budget season, having better, maybe having a building a relationship with all of our, with both schools, public schools, is something we can talk about prior to the next budget season. So I'd like to make a motion, if I may, Madam Chair, to I recommend sending the letter with edits, the recommended edits, authorizing the chair to sign the letter on behalf of the select board, and CCing the select board as MJ requested.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second? Oh,
Second.
Jean, okay, so any further discussion? I see MJ's hand is up, so I'll pass it to you.
I might think that it might make me feel a little bit better to be able to support the motion is to put something in the letter that would welcome the opportunity to have the board represent the Upper Cape School Committee or representatives of the Upper Cape School Committee with the superintendent come to meet with the select board to discuss the issues in addition to the in addition to the, to communicate after they've gathered the information. I think it's good to offer them because we offered this Bourne Public Schools. We offered them a meeting to discuss the issues, and I think offering a meeting to discuss the issues is a way to try to is a way to work together with them. And I just don't want to be adversarial. I want to be collaborative, and I don't know. Maybe I'm
Well,
off
I mean,
base.
I think we've all been clear that this isn't really an attack. This is our fiduciary duty to the town and to the taxpayers. So we're not attacking anyone or doing this out of anything animosity wise. I'm not sure if something like that needs to be in this letter. I think, of course, we would want to collaborate and have meetings later. And as Anne Marie said, talk about that relationship building in the next year. But I'm not sure if it needs to go in this letter, but I'll divert. We have the motion in a second. I'm not sure if anyone else agrees on that or would like to see that added. Or if it's, yeah.
I think
So
if
while
we,
we're still discussing. Peter, go ahead.
I think if we send this letter in this format, I think we're cutting off the chance to work in collaboratively. I just think before we go down this road with a formal letter to the school committee that we give the superintendent, send them the text of this letter as just an email between us and give them a chance to answer those questions. Because like I said, if you send a formal letter, then it's going to be a process and it's going to be a while. And I know someone said that, that I think they realize it's not going to happen overnight getting these answers, but I just, we afforded the courtesy to the Bourne Public Schools. We went to their school committee and explained the situation. I just feel that the same courtesy and respect should be given to Upper Cape Tech as well.
I mean, I personally think it's a different situation. I understand that, but go ahead, Anne Marie.
Yeah, I agree with Melissa. The conversation with the Bourne Public Schools was a budget issue, right? And having a joint meeting and a budget issue with a deficit directly correlates to money is used specifically for Bourne Public Schools is different from this situation. We also had several meetings and conversations with the superintendent in public session, not through emails and deliberating through emails, concerning their budget for fiscal year 27, which was this number, right? This was strictly a result of information and that we discovered relative to the fiscal year 27 budget, which we resolved, that 215 students. This is a result of finding that error and just trying to get an answer to it. We can't, send an email and start deliberating through emails. I think the letter just simply asks for information and getting that information and making that. We don't know what the outcome of that information is, as I said before. So I don't know if there's any additional action to be taken. But if there is, then yes, let's collaborate. Let's travel down that road, knowing, the data we have and trying to make better informed decisions.
Anyone else? All right, so we have a motion and a second. With no further discussion, I will do a roll call vote. Anne Marie,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Peter,
No.
MJ. Oh, did you abstain?
Yes.
Oh, you said yes or you abstained? I'm sorry.
Abstain.
Okay, and the chair votes yes. So 3, 1, 1 no, 1 abstain. Motion carries. All right. Of course, we will work on relationships, and hopefully we can just get the data. And as Anne Marie said, it may not have, there may be no action. We don't know that. So, all right, moving on.
Melissa,
Yes.
may I just be clear that I have your authority to use your stamp?
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Would you like my comments and edits in writing?
I have them noted. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Marlene. Okay, next is our annual and special town meeting, May 4th, 2026, review draft voter handbook and execute annual and special town meeting warrants. I'll go start with the select board. Any comments, questions regarding the handbook? If not, do we have a motion to execute annual and special town meeting warrants?
I make a motion that we execute the annual and special town meeting warrants dated for May 4th, 2026.
Second.
Thank you. All right. We have a motion from Peter. A second. Was that Anne Marie or Jean? I'm sorry. It was Anne Marie.
Marie.
Okay. Motion from Peter, a second from Anne Marie. Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none, I'll do roll call vote. Anne Marie,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
MJ.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. 5-0. All righty. Looks like we're having a town meeting on May 4th. All right. Okay, next we have discussion. Police station roof building committee, and I've given this to Marlene, I think.
Yes. So the select board, as you know, the funding passed at the fall town meeting. And you created the charge for the building committee. However, the building committee is not seated yet. And we have not received any applicants for the 3 seats that are the specialized professional seats. And I want to have a discussion with the select board because we may have already missed the fall construction season, even if we were able to start now. And we obviously can't do this project over the winter. So even if it's aggressive, my question is, does the select board want to serve as the building committee with the other members who are identified, so we can get a designer on board and we can at least make the attempt to salvage the fall construction season? So the select board would serve as the building committee along with the member from the finance committee, the capital outlay committee, and the police chief. My recommendation would be that the building committee meet directly before one of the select board meetings every month. And that would at least allow us to get out to bid for a designer.
Thank you, Marlene, for that. And I will entertain the select board. Anyone have comments, questions, thoughts on this proposal? Go ahead, Jean. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of scary, but I think we have to do this. I think we have to make a move. I guess my only concern is juggling the schedule for the meetings along with some of our members having to meet and talk about wastewater, et cetera. So I guess maybe if Marlene can string all the meetings together, I think we should try and make this work.
Okay. Anne Marie, I see your hand is up. And then I'll call on you next, MJ. It's okay. Don't worry. I see you. I saw you wave.
Yeah, I think given the history and the nature of this particular building project, and we haven't had enough interest from the general public in trying to fill the seats, bearing in mind that there's litigation as well surrounding this project. I'm not opposed to trying to take this on. I mean, it's not the same as the HCA process, but we could follow along the lines of similar board participation with respects to, I think, as long as perhaps there's a quorum of the board. I mean, we certainly should try to meet the five of us and find a schedule, but again, given, everybody's time constraints and commitments, that perhaps, at least a quorum of the board or a quorum of the select board can meet along with, the other members, the FinCom members, that this could work. And, I mean, I think we should absolutely try to get this underway ASAP.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Go ahead, MJ.
I'm hesitant to go in this direction. I think it wasn't really proposed in the packet, so it's a new idea. So I'd want to think about it a little bit. I do think that instead of the capital outlay committee member, there should be a member at large. I think the committee should be re-advertised, and I think the need for the committee should be mentioned on the floor town meeting to see if that generates any interest. I don't feel that there's been, I don't feel this committee has been widely advertised as much as some of the other committees were. And, we also have a charter review committee that has no members. So I'm a little bit troubled about the fact that the people in Bourne are not showing interest in serving on committees that were shown. I mean, there was a lot of interest at town meeting about how this happened with the roof and what's important. And I think if we reach out to get people involved, that especially at town meeting, that might generate some interest. So I think we should re-advertise, try to get a member at large instead of the capital outlay committee member, because there's right now only 5 members of capital outlay and 5 members of the finance committee, and 2 of the members on the capital are on the finance committee. So I don't know. I'm just troubled by it. So that's my thought.
Go ahead, Marlene. I see your hand is up.
So I will say that Bruce McNamee has been appointed by the Capital Outlay Committee. So the Capital Outlay Committee has a person already identified.
So maybe we don't do a finance committee member.
No,
And do a
the
member at
finance
large.
committee member has also been identified.
Okay, so right now you have a finance committee member and a capital outlay committee member and a select board member, and you need the expertise members.
And the
And
police
so
chief.
maybe that's what we talked to town meeting about. We need members with expertise and see if we can generate some interest.
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, unfortunately, desperate times require desperate measures. We normally wouldn't be doing something like this. But I wonder in the interim if we appoint the format that Marlene wanted, just temporarily, and then once we go to town meeting and we get the members that we want, explain what we're looking for, and if we end up getting interest in those specialized areas, then eventually we appoint the building committee as, with those people moving forward, and then the select board can pull back. But I don't want to. I don't want to stall this much longer because with waiting, the longer it goes, the more expensive it's going to be, and potentially and more damage to the building. So I just think that we got to get going because we've been waiting too long on this. But unfortunately, we're not getting people either. So I understand MJ's point. But like I said, maybe in the interim, we do what Marlene wants with the intention of recruiting those other members, and then eventually we end up sitting in a committee that was the way we wanted it. But I'm just thinking temporary, short term.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Yeah, I think that's where I was going too. I mean, this is an important effort. We really need to get moving on it. I agree. I do see MJ's point. We could certainly put the message forward at town meeting and otherwise, but maybe an interim, the select board sits in that seat. And I agree, we're all very busy, and I totally understand what Jean is saying, and Anne Marie, time wise, and MJ too. We've got a lot on our plates. I think all of us do. And with this wastewater and having a small committee for that, yeah, we're definitely strapped for time, but this is an important effort. And we know, as Peter said, this building isn't going to heal itself. It has to be fixed. So I would entertain, we could do an interim, and if people get recruited, then like Peter said, we can drop off the select board then, if that's the pleasure of the board, of course. So I guess, does somebody have a motion maybe, or other thoughts? Do we want to wait another week, think about it, table it until next week, or should we just get moving and vote now?
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint the committee format that the town administrator recommends for the police committee building project.
All right. As interim until if and when we can recruit.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Peter has made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right.
Do we have this in
motion.
writing before we vote it? I mean, we don't have a proposal from the town administrator in writing for the committee. And I would like to have the proposal in writing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to wait one more week, and do you want to present it in writing, Marlene? Do you think that's necessary, or do you think we could just vote on it and then submit that? Thoughts? Anyone?
Well, we're going to meet the night of town meeting before, so.
Right.
I mean, the select board has a motion on the table, Melissa.
Yeah, I mean, we have a motion already on the table, so I'm just gonna go around and do roll call vote and see what we get, I guess. So we have a motion from Peter, a second from Jean, Anne Marie.
Can you just reiterate the motion? The motion is for the select board to take on the role of building committee for the police station as an interim committee but pursue filling positions for a full building committee?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that my understanding
Yes.
of the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So Anne Marie,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
MJ.
We also appointing the people that have applied, or is it just going to be the select board doing this committee now without the police chief and without the finance committee, without the capital outlay committee, or is it all of those people?
I do believe Marlene wanted it to be all of those people, correct? We would sit in with them, or we substitute, we're not
Yes, with those
removing them.
people.
We're just gonna sit in with them until further time when we fill the board. Or if somebody steps up.
That's what I
Just so we can
yeah.
get the project going and started. So MJ,
What I'm voting on, so I'm going to vote no.
okay.
I'm not clear about the motion. I'm not clear about what the committee looks like. I'm not clear about how long it's going to serve and who's going to serve and what the charge is. So I would prefer to have a written charge of the committee with the new interim membership in writing before voting. So I will vote no. Thank you.
Okay, and the chair votes yes, 500, and we will get it in writing and put it together. Marlon can get
No,
it.
No, it's not
500.
500.
Sorry, 401. All right,
410.
410. Well, yes,
I voted no.
thank you.
I voted no.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, that's right. All right, moving on. Let me get my. So next we have the consent agenda. So the consent agenda, do I read them all off? You think I should, or do we just want to make a motion to approve it as presented?
Well,
I
Madam
can read them.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I want to, I have an error on
Okay.
consent agenda 7I that I would like to correct for the board.
Okay.
The permanent easements are for 375 and 369 Barlow's Landing Road.
Okay.
So if you could please strike 357, and the correct address is 375.
375. Okay. So do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the edit to I that is 375, not 357? Barlow's Landing Road.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion from Anne Marie. Do we have a second?
second,
All right, thank you, Peter. We have a motion from Anne Marie, second from Peter. Any further discussion?
yes, I just want to put it in the record that for item B, section 1 is the PMS challenge, and it's part of the recommendation. It says approve PMS challenge, use of town roads for the annual bike-a-thon with the condition that no parking for Taylor's Point area on August 1 and August 2, 2026. And that the police, whoever did it on behalf of the police department in their comments, organizer to reach out to police department 1 month prior to discuss police details. No organizers or volunteers in roadway directing traffic. Police details will assist at busy intersections, and cyclists must recognize the rules of the road. I just want to put it on the record.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second, and Peter's on the record related to, and I will go around to roll call vote. Anne Marie,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
MJ,
Yes.
chair vote yes, 500. Okay, moving on. Town administrators report.
Thank you. I just have a couple of items tonight. Algonquin Gas Transmission will be performing maintenance as part of the federally mandated pipeline integrity program. The inspection requires diversion of natural gas through a designated flare system. The flaring will be located on property near Route 130 and Service Road in Sandwich and may be visible for a distance. The work will begin on Tuesday, April 21st, and is expected to be completed by Friday, April 24th. This is a routine and safe procedure used to support internal pipeline inspections, and Enbridge personnel will be on site at all times. We are well into our summer preparations in advance of Memorial Day. We are making some repairs at the marinas because of damage done during the winter storms. The swim floats will be installed in the same locations as last year. The portable toilets have been ordered, and we are busy recruiting for seasonal staff. The lifeguard staffing is in good shape, but we still have not secured a water safety instructor. If we are able to hire an instructor this season, we will offer swim lessons, but do not yet have one at this point. We are looking for summer camp counselors. So if anyone knows someone who may be looking for a summer job as a counselor, please send them to the Human Resources Office. And lastly, just a reminder that the Army Corps of Engineers will be performing maintenance on the Bourne Bridge that will require lane closures beginning Monday, April 27th through Wednesday, April 20th. MassDOT and the Army Corps continues to work closely with the police department on the traffic plans, and we will be programming our signboards shortly before the work starts to alert motorists. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. Okay, so we have minutes from 3:30 and 3:31. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So move.
Thank you, Peter. Motion from Peter Myers. Do we have a second? Second from Anne Marie. Oh, I'm having a flashback from our articles last week. Motion from Peter, second from Anne Marie. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Anne Marie.
Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
MJ. The chair votes yes. I think that was a yes from you, MJ. It kind of, yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. 500. All right. Do we have any committee reports this evening? Okay.
Actually, yes, I do have a
Yeah.
committee report. Every time
Perfect.
I turn off my video goes off. I don't know what's going on. So I just wanted to let you know that the town administrator's pedestrian bike path committee met last night, and they had about an hour-long discussion, and they did vote to once again request a joint meeting with the select board to discuss the future of the bike path and phase one. I don't think the tip has yet been amended, and they just want to make sure that they understand the direction from the select board. So I know it's difficult this time of year to get meetings, but I think that request is being made to the town administrator and the chair. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, sounds like a plan. Correspondence, Jean.
Hey, correspondence. Am I muted? You can hear me. April 14th, 2026. A, Brandeis EKX0 study regarding drug use. B, request for space to lease from district attorney. C, 854 Scenic Highway request for septic variance. D, Bridges Project request for MOU. E, Ready Renter program flyer. F, revised Upper Cape Tech budget dated 04/01/26. G, Talent Bank. J, Bonanzio Cape Cod Water Protection. H, funding request for teen treatment house in Buzzards Bay. And I, CCRTA Advisory Board final report. That's it.
Thank you very much. Future agenda items related to correspondence and other items for future discussion. Okay, next meeting
have one.
dates. Go ahead. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that
Just,
hand go up.
earlier I was talking about that when we were talking about the building committee discussion for police station, I mentioned ACAs. Is there any necessary updates do we need at some point on an agenda from those retail owners and where they're at and possible start dates, etc.? Just giving us an update.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I actually was thinking about that the other day when I drove by the old car wash. So thank you for that reminder. Time does fly. Okay, so our next meeting dates, tomorrow we have the moderators meeting. Then we have May 5th, select board prior to town meeting. May 12th, select board, and May 26th will be sewer commission. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move. Second.
Oh, two. All right, so the motion from Anne Marie, second from Peter. Roll call vote. Anne Marie?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
MJ? Yes, chair votes yes. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. That was
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.